Hello, Hecate devotees, witches, and fellow occultists alike out there. Today's video is about Hecate and intuition. Now, intuition is the understanding of something without a conscious reason. It's that little nagging gut feeling, the little hair standing up on the back of your neck and arms, telling you this is not the right thing to be doing, or what you're involved with is wrong. Being a devotee of Hecate, this sense is heightened tenfold. I like to call her, or say that she makes you a human lie detector. You'll be able to tell if somebody is immediately lying to you. You'll be able to get almost prophetic dreams working with her, and for sure she will tell you if something's not right, or if it's not the right time, or to completely get out of that situation. As a witch, I'm sure, or as an occultist working with any type of spiritual and magical arts, having that skill comes in handy. Another part of intuition and working with Hecate is people revealing to you their deepest, darkest secrets. Maybe not darkest, but for sure there will be plenty of times while I will be out someplace in a social event, and someone will come and just tell me their entire life stories, things that they would never tell anybody else. Almost like you make them super comfortable in divulging information. This can be also very handy. I figured I'd talk a little bit about intuition and then tell you some personal stories. That's usually how my videos go. Like I said, intuition is that gut feeling within you where you know something's not right, or that you're in the wrong situation, and it's you'll get almost a queasy, nervous feeling, or like I said, the little hairs stand up, and you'll just know. You'll know, and without any reason. And then usually, in my case, working with Hecate, she always reveals that secret to me somehow, and I'm very grateful for that a couple of times. Also, intuition can come to you in forms of dreams, having an issue brought up in your subconscious where you're maybe wrestling with the idea on the physical level. Like, say, for example, you're like, well, I really want to go to that baseball game, but something tells me not to go today. This is a bad idea. I'm going to go ahead and ignore it. Then you end up having a dream about getting hit in the face with a baseball, and then when you wake up, that feeling is pretty clear not to go to the baseball game. That's just, a really primitive example of what I'm talking about here. So, with that being said, working with Hecate and working with intuition, emotions have a bad tendency to cloud these thoughts, and it makes you doubt yourself and your abilities, even though they're usually pretty accurate. Some simple ways to help with this. People have been using scrying tools since the beginning of time, using a pendulum for yes or no questions, using tarot deck for answers, runes, bone readings. Orishi would use seashells and a coconut. These are all just simple things you could do if you had a nagging question within you. You kind of already know the answer, but you need some clarification. For me, intuition and water go hand in hand. So if I'm having a hard time trying to figure out a situation or what the real answer is, I'll go take a nice relaxing herbal bath and pretty much melt away those underlying doubts, and the answer usually comes pretty clear after that. Also, things I've been known to do is take a black bowl, fill it with water and some salt, and sit and look into it to see if an answer comes. Or I also use candlelight divination. That usually works too, just focusing your energy and staring. And like I said, intuition is there. That's not the problem. It's clearing out the emotions to access your gift. Like I said, there comes points where you know better. Like you have that feeling and you ignore it. And then hindsight is 2020, where you sit there and go, oh, well, I shouldn't have done that. That is what's really important in working with your intuition and working with what many people call shadow work. That's going inside of yourself and separating out what are the fears, what are the doubts, what the anxiety is of being right or wrong. Working on yourself and putting yourself in the proper headspace for clear answers is very important. So, some personal stories working with Hecate and dealing with intuition. There's always these memes going around saying, oh yeah, I know, I'm dating the time right now. Trust your intuition, it's always right. And most of the time it is. Like I said before, clearing out emotions is very important. There have been times where I've ignored my intuition. It usually always ends up being in relationships and love. And I can guarantee I'm not the only one who has done this or has had that particular set of issues. Everything feels really good. You're in lust, I won't say love. You're feeling all these great emotions, but something's nagging you in the back of your head saying, this person's cheating on you, or they're not as honest as they say, there's something not right there. Usually Hecate always reveals to me if somebody's cheating. I'll get that gut feeling, something won't be right, and within 2 or 3 days, she shows me a computer screen will be randomly left up with information, or person will leave their phone open and up to the screen, or somebody else will come and tell me so-and-so did this. And that has saved my heart and my mind several times, even though I should have not ignored my intuition to begin with, but not knowing exactly the information there, it always gets revealed one way or another. So as I stated before, it's usually in relationships that we tend to doubt ourselves, that we'll have that feeling or that inkling and we'll ignore it because we feel compassion, compelled, lust, all those beautiful, amazing things that make human life thrive. But as I was saying, sorry, my neighbor's dog. As I was saying before, don't ignore that intuition. If something feels wrong or off, or it usually is. Now, we all have trust issues. We all have fears and doubts, of course. But knowing the difference, knowing that pinpoint feeling of not okay is what saves yourself, your mentality, your life sometimes. And there's been situations, not that I've been through, but friends of mine have, of being in dangerous situations where a car would break down going to a party, and they'd get mad and be like, screw today. Then they get home and they realize that party was raided, and things got really ugly and sticky situation. So sometimes intuition comes in the form of something not happening and knowing that there's a better cause and a better reason for that. That there's something, the universe, preventing things from happening for a very good reason cause. Let's see, I've talked about dreams. I don't dream a lot, but when I do, it's usually what I call anxiety dreams, where you have a very familiar surrounding and it's your inner emotions trying to work things out and tell you, hey, these are things you should be examining within yourself and life going on. That's also a part of intuition, something that if you have a dream and it's your subconscious trying to work things out, don't ignore it. Take in that advice, understand what those feelings and emotions are, separate them from what the situation is, and work with that gut feeling. That's the best way I can describe it, is that pit in your stomach knowing something's not right. So let me get back to the point of working with Hecate, having intuition, and having people confess or tell you their deepest, darkest secrets. That happens a lot. So in those situations, sometimes, you're not giving off a signal, you just have that kind of comforting aura, presence, energy, and people just can drain the hell out of you, coming up to you and just spewing their entire life story to you, or telling you everything that's in their heart or their mind. There are ways that you can protect yourself from these things. Simplest enough, don't engage in conversation, but that's really hard to do. You can put up energy protection barriers, which, just sit there and do a little chant in your head, or envision like a blue fire space around you, like a circle and a shield coming up. And that usually defers that comfortable people wanting to talk to you aspect. Besides just looking at them and having like a resting bitch face, just, sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes people still come up to you even though you look like you're about to eat babies, so I'm just trying to give you some simple ideas if you are in a situation where that naturally exudes off of you and you want to kind of protect yourself. Those are some things you could do, just putting up an energy shield, or seem unapproachable. And sometimes that's not going to work. People are just going to talk to you anyway. And if it happens, to me, that's usually a reason for it. Somewhere in that person's life, you're giving them relief. And that can be a powerful exchange. When somebody seeks you out with a need to express themselves, it is not only release for them, it is not only spiritual work that you are doing to help them, even if it's not spiritual at all. Even just talking in itself is an exchange of energy, and to me, I find magical on many levels. There's always a reason. In my personal opinion, the gods know what they're doing. They usually don't put you in a situation without some kind of reason or meaning behind it. And if you're trying to go against that, that also is where the intuition comes into play, where you'll get that, shit, I shouldn't be doing this kind of feeling. But for the most part, like I said, there's always an interaction and a purpose and a reason behind it. Even if it's just the simple thought of helping somebody by relieving them of their pain or thoughts that are disturbing them, or darkest secrets that they need to tell somebody, and you just happen to be it. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk to you about. Don't ignore your intuition. Don't ignore that gut feeling. Don't ignore that your brain telling you something's not right, because it usually is. And I hope this video finds you well. I hope somewhere in there you're like, yeah, I'm not going to ignore my intuition anymore. And I hope that you have a good rest of February if I don't see you before then. Goodbye, my fellow witches.